Today, we're not just talking about disagreements or misunderstandings. We are deconstructing a hidden form of control, one that doesn't target your actions, but your very perception of reality. Welcome to a strategic briefing on mind games. The safest mind is the one that relies on documentation, not memory. Now let that sink in for a moment. This isn't about being organized for the sake of it. This is a core principle for psychological survival. You see, the most dangerous kind of control isn't achieved by manipulating what you do. It's achieved by systematically attacking your sense of what is real. It's a quiet, subtle warfare waged in conversations, in shared spaces, and inside your own memory. Today, we are opening the black box on these mind games. We're going to expose the calculated tactics people use to keep you perpetually off balance, exploiting the cognitive biases already hardwired into your brain to seize control. Okay, here's our mission today, broken down into 6 critical phases. First, we'll run a threat assessment to really understand the felt problem. Then, we'll dissect the disorientation playbook and its core tactics. After that, we'll map out the control loop, the engine that powers this whole system, and analyze the cognitive battlefield where all this takes place. And crucially, we will then deploy the anchoring protocol. That's our primary countermeasure, before we finish with the single most important strategic takeaway. So let's begin with that threat assessment. Before we can even start analyzing the tactics, we have to understand the impact. This isn't some abstract theory, it's a lived experience. It's a state of being that feels like a constant low-grade psychological war. It's that persistent feeling that the ground is shifting right under your feet, that you just can't trust your own map of the world anymore. Anyone who's been the target of sustained mind games knows this state all too well, a crippling, chronic confusion. It's like living in a dense fog of uncertainty that leads to this profound strategic paralysis. You know something is deeply wrong, but you can't quite put your finger on it. Every single time you try to get some clarity, it just seems to make things even more confusing. And pretty soon, you start to question the one thing you thought you could always trust: your own mind. Make no mistake, that is the intended result, to destabilize you from the inside out. And just notice how these symptoms build on each other. It all starts with that crippling self-doubt, maybe from a small, dismissive comment or a denied memory. From there, chronic confusion becomes your new normal. You just don't have a firm grasp on what's true anymore. Well, that leads directly to decision paralysis. I mean, how can you possibly make a choice when you can't trust your own judgment? Your brain is operating under a constant high cognitive load. It's like a computer running way too many programs at once, just endlessly replaying conversations, trying to solve unsolvable riddles. This creates a severe emotional imbalance and ultimately a deep sense of helplessness. You feel trapped, not by physical walls, but by the very architecture of your own degraded perception. Now, this state of confusion, it is not an accident. It is the intended outcome of a very specific set of maneuvers. So welcome to the disorientation playbook. These are the core tactics used to systematically dismantle a person's reality. And these aren't just bad habits or communication styles, they are strategies deployed with purpose. We can really break these tactics down into 3 main lines of attack. First, you have gaslighting and projection. The objective there is crystal clear: reality erosion. They want to make you doubt what you see, what you hear, and what you remember. Second, there's strategic ambiguity. This is designed to maximize the manipulator's advantage by creating a fog of uncertainty where they are never, ever held accountable. And third, you've got emotional coercion, which aims to induce an identity threat, making you fear for your own sanity and social standing. These are not random acts, they're calculated moves to gain control. Let's zero in on gaslighting for a second. This is the absolute cornerstone of reality erosion. It's that persistent denial of your experiences. That never happened. You're imagining things. You're being way too sensitive. Over time, these statements act like a slow drip acid on your self-trust. The goal is to make you question your memory, your perception, your sanity, until you become utterly dependent on the manipulator as the one and only person who can tell you what's real. They become your source of truth because they've destroyed your ability to be your own. And then you have strategic ambiguity. This tactic basically weaponizes vagueness. The manipulator makes contradictory statements, they offer these unclear promises, they communicate in riddles. And what this does is it forces you into a state of perpetual guesswork. You spend enormous amounts of mental energy just trying to decode their true intentions, and it's exhausting. And that serves our purpose perfectly, keeping you preoccupied, confused, and operating at such a high cognitive load that you can't form a coherent strategy of your own. They hold all the power because they never have to commit to a clear position. So, how do these tactics create a system that just feeds on itself? Well, that brings us to the engine of these mind games, the control loop. This is the mechanism that traps you, turning your own desire for peace into the very thing that reinforces the manipulator's power. It's a perfectly designed psychological prison. And here it is. This is the critical leverage point. The moment a manipulator convinces you that your memory is flawed, they gain control of your past. And if they control your past, they get to dictate the terms of your present. They can rewrite history, they can redefine your character, and they can frame your reactions as completely irrational. This right here is the foundation that the entire control structure is built on. Your history is no longer your own. It becomes a story that they tell you. Let's break down the mechanics of this loop. Step 1. The manipulator uses tactics like ambiguity and gaslighting, and your cognitive load just spikes. The mental strain becomes unbearable. Step 2. You desperately seek relief from this confusion and psychological pain. Your brain just craves certainty. So, step 3, the easiest path to that relief seems to be compliance. Okay, you're right. I'm sorry, I must have misremembered. You grant compliance. And this is the moment control shifts, when compliance becomes the only available path to psychological relief. And finally, step 4, that active submission reinforces the manipulator's control, validating their narrative and making the loop even stronger for the next cycle. So here's the crucial, brutal part of all this. This is where the trap closes. When your effort to solve the puzzle, to understand, to communicate, to find common ground, only serves to increase your confusion. Every single attempt you make to fix the problem actually feeds the problem. It is a brilliant and devastatingly effective trap because it uses your own good intentions, your empathy, and your desire for harmony against you. But why is this trap so effective? I mean, why does it work so well? To understand that, we have to shift our focus from the external tactics to the internal mechanics. We have to analyze the cognitive battlefield, the human mind itself, and the specific vulnerabilities these tactics are precision engineered to exploit. At its heart, the central conflict is between two competing realities. On one side, you have your internal perception, your feelings, your gut intuition, your memories. You're thinking, I feel confused, or something just feels wrong. And on the other side, you have the manipulator's external narrative, which directly attacks and invalidates that perception. You're too sensitive. You're misremembering things again. You're being crazy. The entire battle is over which one of these two realities will win out. And it's a zero-sum game for control of the narrative. This whole strategy works because it presses on 4 key psychological pressure points. First, cognitive load. It just overwhelms your brain's finite processing power, forcing you to submit just to escape the mental exhaustion. Second, identity threat. It weaponizes our deep-seated fear of being seen as crazy or unstable. The price of defending your reality is being labeled unreliable. Third, loss aversion. It leverages our fear of losing the relationship, which makes us way more likely to give in just to preserve that connection, even if it's toxic. And finally, intermittent reinforcement. The manipulator offers these unpredictable moments of kindness or validation, creating a powerful, addictive hook that keeps you hoping for a return to the good times, and that fosters a deep dependency. Okay, so we've analyzed the threat, the playbook, and the psychological engine. Now we move to countermeasures. And this is not about winning an argument, it's about changing the rules of engagement. This is the anchoring protocol. It's about taking the fight off their preferred battlefield of emotion and ambiguity and moving it to the solid ground of objective fact. So, the central question we have to answer is this: how do you neutralize the manipulator's ambiguity advantage? Their entire strategy hinges on that fog of confusion and uncertainty. So our counter strategy has to be one of radical, undeniable clarity. We have to drain the swamp they operate in. The reality anchoring protocol is the strategy to do just that. Its purpose is to take reality out of your head, where it can be debated and denied, and put it into the physical world, making it external, objective, and completely non-negotiable. You literally remove it from the battlefield of emotional debate and turn it into a matter of record. This is how you reclaim your power. Deploying this protocol involves 3 very clear steps. First, you have to learn to recognize the signal. That feeling of chronic confusion is not a sign that you're failing, it's a data point. It's an alarm bell telling you that a disorientation tactic is in play. Second, you externalize reality. You document interactions. You write down what was said, when it was said, factually and without any emotional commentary. This creates an external anchor for your memory that is totally immune to gaslighting. And third, you force clarity. This is the active part where you turn the tables. You force clarity by using a precise linguistic tool, the verification script. When you're faced with that ambiguity, you calmly state, "To ensure I understand, please clearly articulate the specific behavioral request you are making of me." This script is so powerful because it does two things. It politely refuses to play their guessing game, and it shifts the burden of providing clarity from you back onto them. It pierces right through the fog of their ambiguity and demands concrete, accountable language. It neutralizes their ambiguity advantage instantly. And that brings us to the final phase of our briefing. After deconstructing the whole system and outlining the countermeasure, what is the single core insight that we absolutely must take away from all this? What is the principle that governs this entire dynamic? The central insight is this: volatility is vulnerability. Manipulators thrive in environments of chaos, ambiguity, and emotional instability. That is their home turf. Therefore, stability is the most valuable power resource that you have. Stability of mind, stability in your records, stability in your communication. By creating a predictable, stable, and clear environment, you neutralize the very conditions the manipulator needs to operate. You make yourself an inhospitable environment for their tactics. And so we come full circle. The safest mind is the one that relies on documentation, not memory. This is no longer just a quote, it's an operational command. It's the key to maintaining the sovereignty of your own mind. Your memory can be questioned, your feelings can be dismissed, but a clear, factual, external record is an anchor in reality that cannot be easily moved. That is your strategic advantage. That is how you win the war for your own mind.